to the analysis desk here at FACEIT LAN. That was impressive, I thought, from TSM. Even though the first half, I feel like they could have got more rounds. Would you say?
Yeah. In the first half, I actually felt a bit bad for TSM. It's not that they did anything wrong. They were getting all these plants. They were getting in after plant situations, entries for days. But it just shows what a difficult team Fnatic is to play against. That's why they get to so many finals, so many semi-finals, because they're so hard to put away. Like, they can do those retakes. Even when they're the team where if they're one man down, the round isn't over. You can't feel safe in that, you know. So it felt as though actually things were slightly edging towards Fnatic's end towards the end of that first half, but TSM came on really strong in the second half.
Yeah, the second half was so impressive. Talk us through that, guys. Like, what made TSM so good in that second half?
karrigan. I'm gonna have to give it to karrigan.
Yeah,
like he was on point, and he was basically everywhere, just shutting Fnatic down left and right, and he did a very good job with that. So I'm gonna have to give it to him. Like, he played extremely well on the CT side.
He's one of those players where when you look at AWPers, I don't like to just look at AWPers and see the ones that get lots of kills and go, oh, they're all equally good AWPers, they can all do everything. There's so many different like nuances to AWPing. And what I've noticed with karrigan is his best range is sort of like the medium range. It's not really far away, it's not super close. And so what he does on this particular map is he just always stays within that range. Like if they come into the B site, he's always like not super far away, but he's like halfway up looking into those windows, and he never misses those shots. Like, that's like, he knows his range exactly on point. And you saw a very key round actually when Fnatic went into the A site there. Most players, when they get smoked off there, this is what we saw when Liquid was playing yesterday when they were playing against, was it against Na'Vi they were playing? I forget. No, maybe Immunity. I think.
Immunity? Yeah.
Immunity. Okay, when they were playing that game there, part of how they lost it is if they ever got smoked off, like in the CPL area or in the CT spawn, they just pulled back and they waited, like regroup, like maybe see if someone comes through the smoke. karrigan got smoked off, so he just pushed through the smoke but found an angle at the edge, waited and took a shot, and that shot just opened up the whole round there, because otherwise you get like 3 Fnatic guys in the site, they plant, they hide, someone goes back into the pallets. That's like an extremely difficult round to win. Whereas instead, that ballsy play, yeah, if he'd have died, okay, the round's probably over, but taking that kind of like proactive risk there immediately put TSM back in the driving seat in the round where it could have gone really badly. This was late in the game as well, where you can't afford to lose those rounds.
So in the first half, we saw a lot of impressive retakes of the bomb sites by Fnatic, but in the second half, what did Fnatic do wrong? Because as we were just saying, JW got 30 frags, he had a 30 bomb, yet they still just lost the map. What were they doing wrong, James?
It's, well, again, as Fifth Laren said, it's a lot of what karrigan was doing right, getting the important frags and shutting down the connector area. But there were some rounds on the T side where, for example, you know, there were a lot of rounds where like flusha was lurking in Palace, and often teams have a lurker in Palace, like Taz lurks in Palace for versus pro, etc. But there's some situations where, let's say, like he's just pushed Palace and the A site just on his own, and the rest of his team are completely elsewhere. And maybe they're trying to draw attention away from A in other areas and try and get a sneaky frag. But just those kind of situations just didn't come off for them, really. And again, there was a number of situations where karrigan had a 1v1 in the connector area and just shut them down almost every single time. And I know we're supposed to focus on Fnatic, but I just wanted to point out, like in the last 3 to 5 rounds, karrigan was between mid, A and B. Everywhere where Fnatic were, he was in the right place at the wrong time for the Swedish side. He just shut them down all over the map.
So karrigan's psychic powers is what won them this one. Let's talk about KRIMZ, because I felt like we actually brought up the lower third, the overlay, showing how well he's been doing so far this weekend. It was something like a 2.6 KDR, but then bottom frag this game. I feel like we jinxed him. I feel like we jinxed him a little bit.
Well, I would say that KRIMZ's strength is actually on the CT side. Right. And Fnatic did have a good CT side in the beginning, knowing how strong TSM seemed to be now on their T side. So I don't really necessarily think that he played super bad. Sure, moving into the T side, something was lacking. And that was probably KRIMZ. He didn't show up.
Yeah. So we're going into Inferno next. Do you feel like we're going to see a similar performance from TSM on this map?
This is the hard one to tell, because if you look at the map in isolation, I mean, TSM picked it. It's a really good map for them. It's also a fantastic map for Fnatic, though. There's very few teams that have beaten them ever in history. I think they've only lost something like, I think it's only something like 6 out of 31 games they've ever played on it offline. So it's very rare they ever lose on this map. Okay. So the main thing I think in terms of TSM is, the fact that they're up a map, if you look at their history, they have a lot of 3-map series in their history, because if they go up a map, they tend to slack on the next one, or they have to lose big on the first one to kind of get kicked into gear. So I think it's dangerous for Fnatic in as much as it is a strong map for TSM. TSM could close the series 2-0, but I would bet on Fnatic to take this map, especially knowing that that's the problem with TSM. You can never even look at them. I always say don't judge teams like series to series. Like if they have a close series here, don't just assume in the next series, like if it's a better opponent, they'll get blown away. It resets. TSM reset between maps. They can look monstrous on one map. Then the next map, they could lose it themselves completely monstrously.
We saw that yesterday in the last map of the
They're
day.
one of the hardest teams to read in terms of like the very extreme short-term form. So I think this should be a stronghold for Fnatic.
So you're saying that Inferno is good for Fnatic. We would have said that about Mirage going into Mirage, though, right? So there's still a good chance.
But that's
that
the
TSM
thing.
could
Recently,
cause an upset.
we've seen a lot of good Mirage play from the TSM guys, especially at the PGL final. In the grand final, they played Mirage there, and they won it against Fnatic. But that's one of the things that's interesting about playing Inferno now, because there was no 5th map in that best of 5, because TSM started 1-0 up, and then they just won 2-1. But if there had have been a 5th map, if they'd got there, it was going to be Inferno. And that would have been like the ultimate test. Like, can they beat Fnatic on Inferno in a grand final? We never got to see it, but we're going to see it now in theory.
And what about karrigan then? If karrigan continues the form that we've just seen in the last map, how important is he going to be on Cash? How important is it for him as his role in the team? How important is that on Cash?
On Cash?
Oh, sorry, Inferno.
Okay.
Sorry. Cash is the 3rd map.
Yeah. Inferno, I think less so, because first of all, he's not really going to have as many of those AWPing opportunities. It's actually quite hard to make the AWP work on Inferno. There's very few players that will use it all the time. So I think on Inferno, it's more just a case of I'm focusing mainly on the TSM T side here, because their T side's been so above and beyond what we're used to from them, but quite consistently good actually. If anything, what's been letting them down sometimes, if we saw in all those Navi games, was the CT side, like CT side overpass. So their T side's been phenomenal. If they can keep that up against Fnatic, I think that's the real key, because Fnatic themselves, they can sometimes struggle on T side. Like they sometimes have difficulties, especially late in the game, trying to grind rounds out. So if you can really punish their CT side, then I think you give yourself a chance to win. Whereas if you're just going to try and win like 10 CT rounds and then hope they don't win 11, I don't want to play that game against Fnatic.
Okay, great. We'll be back after Inferno to analyse this and see how they do. Guys, take it away.
It's time.
Is it? Do you want to do it this time? Or am I doing it again?
Yeah. This is how we roll.
Okay, I want to aim for the knife. Then I'm going to steal it. Oh!
Oh, you got denied there. Another AWP, guys,
This is rigged.
after this map. Who won? Producer Reese needs to tell us who won the previous knife, if he can. The previous AWP. The knife has not been spun yet. We'll find out shortly.
What's going to happen when we run out of ops?
I'd be surprised if we ran out of AWPs. We've got 8 AWPs across 3 matches. That's like 9 potential maps, and we have 10 items to give away.
Okay.
So there we go.
I'm going to call it now again. If TSM wins, they're going to start T-side.
Well,
But they don't. Fnatic might actually just start CT side though, or they might be...
Fnatic
Yeah,
just
they're
sent,
staying.
they sent them
So-
to the abattoir.
Yeah, so for TSM's part here, it wouldn't have mattered if they win or lose the knife round. I'm pretty sure they would start on the T side anyway.
Yeah, they seem to have something going on. Something up their sleeves here on the T sides of seemingly all the maps that we've seen so far, at least. So, both teams may be starting where they wanted to. That's going to be a smoke to bounce off the back wall and back forward into mid, often thrown from the bench. In T-spawn. Look at this aggression here. We've got 3 people from Fnatic coming down banana. Trades, 2 more to contend with. We've got flashbangs, pronax going down. So many frags in a matter of seconds here on Inferno. 3 TSM players on the site. KRIMZ and JW to try and retake. KRIMZ carrying a kit, but no armor. JW going straight for the face of karrigan. That's the bomb planted down. The bomb, again, no man's land. Going to be difficult to pick it up. Only dupreeh versus 2. Needs to get it while their smoke is down. Oh, he's identified where JW is, trying to even up the numbers, but he's not going to find the frag. Lots of pistol spam from both players, but JW is the one to win the duel.
Yeah, and TSM there, after they threw the smoke up mid, there's a very high possibility that they're just going to end up running B. And Fnatic obviously had 3 guys there. So even though they went down, JW, again, as per usual, just runs straight down middle. And TSM wasn't ready for it. They tried to plant the bomb in a good situation if you have banana control. It's a very lackluster bomb position if you don't.
Fnatic going with considerable nades. JW with a molly, loads of flashbangs as well. So if there plans to be any pushes here, any rushes from TSM, they want to stop it as best as they can. dupreeh going down so far. Had a teammate going for the trade, but Zipex will come out late to wait for his teammates to bait the Fnatic player, find the frag. 2 versus 2 now, and I do not think that was the plan for that smoke grenade. Zipex picking up a Bison device with the MP7. Olof trying to look through the corner of the smoke, maybe from mini pits. See KRIMZ there pushing up quad, so they've got the crossfire assault going in. They've got a kit, but really the clock is running down quite considerably here. They need to find these frags fast. The Bison putting in the work, and Olof's going to get tapped down by the unlimited bullets of the Tech 9.
Yeah, and this is the thing. TSM actually, they didn't buy armor. They bought some pistols, and that was about it, and they still managed to win that round. And the positioning of the Fnatic players there, yeah, sure, they... again, TSM got the bomb... No, actually, did they get the bomb down? They didn't, no.
In the first? No.
No, they didn't get the bomb down. So then chances are Fnatic probably opted to think that they would just, full buy, wait for, and want to push a little bit aggressive. And it just didn't work out, like TSM just shot some heads.
I think Zipex had a very crucial part to play there, but we'll come back to that in a bit. As it looks like Fnatic want the trades to come back in their favour. 3 versus 3 now, and we're seeing absolute mayhem and bedlam. There's a crack in that smoke, which may allow Fnatic to push, but device still on T slope would catch flusha should he go through. Now they're in a difficult position. Look at where the bomb is. I don't even have a name for that area. But pronax is headed in that direction. But with only 10 HP, and surely that's going to be a free kill. Indeed it is. TSM with very passive angles. They're going to pay off, and here comes the charge towards A. Only KRIMZ to try and defend here. It does have armor and the helmet as well, with a 5-7 to boot. KRIMZ finding the first frag on the quad side. They know where he is now, and they're going to come together. Can flusha get back here in time? KRIMZ needs to try and stay alive, but the push is coming in. He had a 1v1 situation, tagged karrigan down to 20, but it wasn't enough. Now there's a crossfire. flusha up close, finds the frag with the Bison, tries to switch to the bomb planter. cajunb with the AK, he's got everything going in his favour right now. Just needs to tap flusha one more time, down to 8 HP with a Bison versus a helmet. This should not be doable for flusha. He's gone for a pistol, it seems. He's not going to be able to do it. An insurmountable task. And TSM take their next round.
Yeah, also a very close round. But yes, the round before, Cyptix with a very important kill onto pronax there. Not really quite sure why pronax actually decided to drop down from balcony after getting that one kill, and just he had a pretty decent position.
Yeah.
Sure, I understand he wanted to help his teammates over on the quad side, but it's just better to fall back there after you get the first few frags.
Yeah, that split-second decision-making made all the difference here for the Danish side. Now they have a significant early advantage. Already 2 rounds on the board. All the guns. They barely won the last round, but they did win nonetheless. So, more standard setup here from Fnatic. JW with the CZ. 2 people towards B. And again, TSM on a fact-finding mission at the moment. Just trying to clear things ever so slowly. They've all got AK, so there won't be anyone with like a Mac 10 or similar headed in to try and go for the information. So far so good. Olof going down on site. KRIMZ taking down the Vice, and that's made TSM a little bit paranoid. cajunb and Zipnix, look at the life on those guys. Fnatic, if they get the bullets off first, then this could all change. There goes Zipex. Eventually I'll start calling him Zipex and not Zipnix, but for now it'll have to switch between the two. pronax trying to take down dupreeh. He'll do some damage, but not find the frag. Man disadvantage now for Fnatic. They try to clear out the Danish side. Now we've got the 1v1, both players with an AK, and KRIMZ will not know where karrigan is. Or does he? the info from a previous frag. He finds the head, but tagged down to 13. A narrow victory there for TSM. Again, they went for the full buy, then they will have to buy again for 4 of their players.
Yeah, all of these anti-ecos has been very close. TSM not surviving with too many people both rounds, so you can see they're on their economy, and that shows.
Yeah, Fnatic with limited nades. Got a bunch of smoke grenades, which are one of the more important nades on this map. Oh, there's another nade going in the opposite direction to intended. JW taken down early. But can they capitalize on this advantage? Fnatic will be in a position to leave only KRIMZ at the bottom of Banana thanks to those smoke grenades. TSM meanwhile will try to clear the site and push, or clear the areas and push Fnatic back towards the site into passive positions, which they are already holding again with limited numbers, limited grenades to their armory. They'll have less choices. I'm sure they would love an AWP right now, and again TSM just carefully clearing out all the nooks and crannies of the map as they head towards the A site. KRIMZ isn't going to risk it and push down Banana where cajunb would be waiting for him. Olof just waiting to spot the information. Time ticking down here, and TSM will need to make a push soon.
Yeah, they're going into a trap here, it feels like. Well, now you just saw the olofmeister rotate back on something.
Okay, so 3 versus 3, but one of the Fnatic players is still rotating over from the B bomb site. So it'll be 2 versus 2 on the site for now as the rotation comes in, but it will be a clearance sale here for Fnatic. They're taking everything, as well as the bomb defuse.
Yeah, TSM with the entry, but since they opted to go towards the A bomb site, Fnatic had guessed, especially since the KRIMZ was so aggressive down Banana for a very long period of time. It didn't. So that entry that TSM received didn't really benefit them when they actually hit the site, since they still had to fight versus 3 Fnatic players.
Cadian's playing noughts and crosses on the map, it seems.
Cadian has been pretty decent observer this turn.
I'm
gonna call this out. He's actually been a lot better than you have.
I was a pretty awful observer, I must say, this weekend. But I put it down to lack
Not
of
to
sleep,
put you down, you know. You can work on it. He can probably show you.
No, I'd rather just get Cadian in to do it instead. So now TSM find themselves on a limited buy, only mustering 2 rifles in this round, trying to get an early frag there, and they will. Olof going down again. So it's another round where Fnatic have lost the player early, but the other players managed to pick up the slack in the previous round. Yeah,
and you see the same tendency from Fnatic again here, opting to play 3 on the A bomb side, which is very common nowadays, since you can just keep on smoking off B, and you see here KRIMZ still with an extra smoke, so you can hold them off even longer, and with time ticking down, I guess we're going to have to see what TSM decides to do here.
I think there were rumors of Valve's intentions to eventually update Inferno as well, and maybe it's relating to the kind of current smoke play that we often see in the map, where you just have these thick paper walls round after round. And, well, still many more smokes in the bag here. Let's see what kind of execute we're going to have here from TSM. Looks like they're going to try and sell the fake. They are not bad at selling fakes. You can see the rotation coming in from J. Oh, no. He's like, hold on a second. I have a smart IGL, and he's spotted the bomb there. That's going to be all the information. Now we have the correct rotation coming in from Fnatic. They have a man advantage as well. Flash is being bounced in. Pronax could fall here. He'll find the frag using that cover to his advantage. TSM getting cut down 1 by 1. Only cajunb remains with 3 frags to find. KRIMZ only on 3 HP. But there will be the double peek there, putting cajunb in a nigh on impossible situation.
Yeah, especially considering where the bomb was planted. Obviously, they couldn't plant on the default position, since Fnatic still had a player down in pit, which just made life extremely difficult for cajunb.
So, how strong is Fnatic's momentum now? How many rounds will they string together in a row? You can see financial situation. Oh, that was unnecessary. The financial situation has become difficult for TSM. This is a smoke NIP do quite a lot, isn't it? I think this is one that Exist throws onto the car area.
Yeah, they used it a lot actually. before. I'm not sure if they actually use it too much now, because I think people find a way to counter it, or they just wait, basically. So, but it's a good smoke.
Deegs coming out, but not finding enough meat shots onto flusha to do the job. He will remain with 41 HP. There's the trade coming in. dupreeh doing a little bit of damage to Fnatic. Bomb is down, and this round should be over. Dimnix coming in, but won't get any flying headshots get right style. So, Fnatic looking strong now. Starting to build the bank.
They are. Like, even my TSM has been on a semi-buy, full buy with pistols for 2 rounds, so...
JW, only with the CZ, he's got 1,400 in the bank, so he's been caught short. The rest of the team will be carrying, well, a lot of them carrying the Molotovs on the CT side as well as the Ts. Oh, cajunb cannot get away from the trade nade. And it's Fnatic who retain control, again losing 1 CT early and putting 3 people over towards the A site once again. KRIMZ being trusted to hold down the A site, flusha finding a frag onto karrigan. That's an important position for dupreeh. And that will more or less force Fnatic away from the top of the mid area. You see flusha backing up into the CT side of Arch, holding a more passive angle. Also does allow him to rotate if he needs to. You can see KRIMZ positioned reasonably aggressively down banana as the rest of TSM push up to top mid.
Yeah, again, Fnatic forcing TSM in a very awkward situation.
Look at a snap straight onto the face of Device. Manages to get a nade out and sprays him down to finish him off with it. Almost a magic trick there from flusha. Only Xyp9x left. Oh, double dinks through the wall. Going to leave him with 26 HP, and he has had quite enough of this. He's going to run away. Maybe flusha can find him, maybe not. KRIMZ starting to push. They do not want any survivors. Oh, Mr. Kimi style, taking down everybody in their site. And we have Fnatic extending their lead now. TSM with a good start early, but Fnatic finding their stride.
Yeah, and as of... I'm not sure, yeah, so they won 4 rounds in a row. And for these 4 rounds, KRIMZ has been basically alone at B every time TSM gets an entry. And they should pick up on this though, TSM, knowing that they've been hitting the A bomb sites, always seeing the 3 people over there, so...
Yeah. This time Olof has lasted more than 10 seconds, so will be a stronger defense, at least for now. Got these set smokes coming in. Arch and Library being smoked off. flusha running for dear life. He's going to make it through the smoke. Can he make it around the corner? Just about. 23 HP left on him, but we have TSM players swarming all over the A site, pumping in through the smoke onto Fnatic players. They've still got control of the quad and pit area. It's a 5-on-1 with a bomb plant on the A site of Inferno. It is not every day you see this. How much damage can Device do? Find the angle onto olofmeister, but the jumping 180 straight into your face makes it 6-3 for Fnatic with no casualties.
Yeah, and look at their money.
They are building bundles.
Yep. They got bank.
Cash monies.
Cash money.
Cash monies. Dollar bill and all that jazz. No AWPs on the map for this round. 4 mollies here for Fnatic. They will identify that there is a buy here for TSM. Again, Olof going for that early aggression, but he's alive, Fifth Laren. He is alive.
Yes. But I mean, by the looks of it, he doesn't have to be.
That is also true. So this is even worse for TSM, since he may not be required.
Yeah,
he is surplus to requirements, you might say.
And this is how Fnatic plays though, because normally it's JW that just tends to run around and do nonsense kinds of things, and whenever he tends to go down, again, since Fnatic always play the kind of playstyle where they only have 1 B and 3 towards A and just keep on re-smoking B, it's not really they're not really at a loss from losing that 1 player.
This time, TSM have more considerable map control over banana. That smoke being the NIP one upper near the car, as opposed to the other one down the bottom of banana. So now they got the timing mollies as the set smokes and mollies come in from the T side. Here comes the push. They've got a smoke through to CT, pre-firing different areas, finding Olof completely blind. as a bat. Still one player on the site, that is KRIMZ. Not going to find a frag onto karrigan. So we've got a 5-man take of the B bomb site. Finally, JW getting 1 frag. But with 4 players already on the site, they need to find these frags early. They're smoked off from construction. We've got nades flying in. Pronax falls as well. There's so much cash still on Fnatic. There's a question as to whether they just try to contain TSM here and cause them as much financial damage as possible. JW though running away to bottom banana. flusha has the angle, doesn't find the frag. Device will open up CT spawn so the TSM players can make their escape.
Yeah, and there you see TSM opting to go B that round, even though they didn't get an entry. So Fnatic did have 2 players over at the B bomb site. Again, they only tend to play 1B, but if they actually do lose the entry.
Oh, JW was about to pop ahead, about to squeeze it like a grape.
Yeah, but it was chances are now that Fnatic will, you see JW about to run towards banana, so there's going to be an aggressive play here. They tend to do that if they lose the round before from an from a B play. They tend to go aggressive the next round, just to put some extra pressure on them, so that they don't make it happen again. They don't let it happen again.
Olof flash from mid. It will be him carrying New York with JW rocking an AK. So things changing up a bit here. pronax starting with a 3-man B push, and he will rotate now back towards the A site. So this time we're going to have 2 people at the bottom of banana. We'll see if Fnatic get aggressive with this later on, since there's 2 of them as opposed to just KRIMZ. In fact, with 4 players, it looks like it may go for a 4th rotation towards A. KRIMZ was successful down there anyway, so why not bolster the A
there's no
site
point in
even
just
more?
having or leaving 2 there. Since he's so aggressive, even if it goes down, Fnatic will still have time to rotate back to the bomb site before TSM managed to get in there. So
I miss being able to boost into the tree where KRIMZ is standing.
I think you can jump up there though.
You used to be able to, but they changed it so you
Really?
can't. Yeah.
Damn you, Volvo.
Here comes the push, pretty much, towards B. Zipex trying to run distraction, but he's going to get shot straight in the head. KRIMZ has gone down. Now things are changing for Fnatic. TSM already 4 rounds on the board, looking for a 5th. 2-man push up banana from Fnatic. You can see them starting to creep. dupreeh is ready and waiting though. Will he see the shadow from here? Not if he's flashed. Looking completely the wrong way. Free frag for flusha. 3 versus 4. The numbers are thinning for TSM. Got a heat and potty set up here on the site, but how many frags can they find? pronax taking down cajunb straight away. Trade coming in with a nade for olofmeister. That's going to be another round in the bag for Fnatic. 3-round lead, 7-4.
Yeah, again, smart play by TSM, knowing that by the time this smoke fades, KRIMZ will just try and back up. And you saw there, he tried to run away, but he got caught off guard before he actually had time to hide on the B bomb side, and he didn't have an extra smoke since he used it previously. But it was a good retake from Fnatic. TSM after was it Device or dupreeh that was the out banana that got flashed and died? It was one of the 2.
I think it might have been Device, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, so by the time when he actually went down, it just put TSM, the remaining 3 players, in a very awkward situation.
Alright, so once again, Fnatic being afforded 4 players now on the A site. Although they did lose the site there, they had a pretty solid retake. This time it's Olof going to just be holding an angle, finding the first frag, and then getting the smoke down. Oh, lucky to get away with that one. 3-5 through the smoke there. And JW is dancing around a pillar and somehow finds the frag as well. Lucky he was at a significant disadvantage there, but it's TSM who find themselves lacking 2 players. Find themselves locked out of banana. The smoke only just disappearing now. We'll see if a second smoke comes in. Again, that smoke did go down fairly late after Olof got the first frag. Looks like TSM may favour a B push here. Slowly creeping up.
Well, KRIMZ doesn't have a smoke left, so they could just walk in here.
Okay, so we're going to have the Qs, and they'll have to shoot blind through the smoke should they choose to. But Olof rotating through to construction as fast as he can. The smoke comes in there, and KRIMZ, he's just waiting for his teammates to get into position. Zipex trying to get into a position on the site, but KRIMZ is holding it down on his own, as we've seen so many times before. Device running for dear life. I don't know if he's going to make it.
Counter-terrorists win.
Find this shot. Nice snap from him. Oh. Just about. gets away with it. Looking scary as we go into the last few rounds of the first half. So 4-8. What is the score like for TSM?
Well, considering that they were probably going to opt to go to start on T side anyway if they won the knife round, they probably expected more. It was the same on Mirage. But 4 rounds is a little bit too little, I'd say. It's still doable, obviously.
Ooh. Device just got his arm taken off there. Got to be watching. Oh, he's got to be fearful of the smoke as well. Oh, he's surrounded in a carpet flame and just got... that was hilarious. He just kind of stood up and then fell over. But he has well and truly left the building. So now it's TSM with the early disadvantages as opposed to Fnatic. That's going to be a smoke for the top of Banana. And ironically, there was a smoke from almost where that smoke was thrown. TSM with 2 smokes left. Fnatic with 3 left. Less than a minute on the clock here, so they can still slow down TSM quite considerably. They can put TSM in a difficult situation where they have to push through smoke or fire. And we'll see what difference that makes. As this push comes in, there is another Molotov, which is pretty much going to close down quad with flashbangs as well. The timing of these nades is fantastic from Fnatic. karrigan falling. Now it's 3 versus 5. And there's 4 Fnatic players over towards the A side. Bomb's been taken down. That's going to be a full rotation from Fnatic, but will it even be required? Zipex finding only 1 frag for TSM. JW cleaning things up.
Yeah, and this is why Fnatic is so good on this map. And it's mainly because of their seeds. So you see that their rotation is always on point. They always know, like, yeah, if they lose this man, we'll do this. Okay, if we don't lose one, we do this. If they manage to get B one round, and we go into B, we push aggressive B. They always have an answer for everything, which is why it's so hard or it's difficult to play T side versus them.
Alright, so TSM looking for early presence. We have the eco train through the flames here on the B bomb site. JW cutting them down with bullets and fire. And that round is going to last all of a few seconds, 19 to be exact. Thank you very much, Valve. Last round of the first half. Fnatic looking for that 11-4, but TSM may have other ideas. They've got the nades out. Double AWPs for Fnatic as well. JW and olofmeister. This is going to be dangerous. This time it's Olof going towards the A site, JW going towards B. So different styles. Will TSM be prepared? They are charging towards A at the moment. Shock and Nor going straight through top mid, and they're going to find a frag onto pronax as well. Were Fnatic prepared for this timing? Olof going for the no-scope, not going to find it. 2 men down for Fnatic so far, desperately trying to hold on to the A site, but a bomb will go down here for TSM. 5 versus 3. dupreeh's only on 4 HP. But he's going to have a lot of teammates in tow. They're going to be prepared for the trade. Fnatic no option but to go for this. It is the last round after all. Device with that nice angle to hold down quad will allow them to concentrate on apps and the arch area. JW doing whatever he can. The clock is ticking down. This round is more or less unwinnable for the Swedish side. Only flusha remains, and there's still no one down for TSM.
Yeah, it was a really good choice of rounds for TSM there, knowing that, well, obviously they didn't know that Fnatic had 2 ops that round, but going on a very fast round, not really letting Fnatic use their ops the way they wanted to, was extremely important getting that last round. So 10-5, I would still be happy with this if I was TSM, knowing that they lost the pistol and managed to win the eco after.
That TSM mousepad's quite cool.
You like it?
I like it.
Really?
Do you like it? You don't like it, do you? No?
No. Well,
you like NIP and mousepads?
Depends. Have you seen Get Rights?
I haven't.
Really?
What is it?
It's really cool. Go check it out later.
Okay. We'll get a camera on Get Right's mousepad in the next game. But for now, it is TSM versus Fnatic. We're at half time. And KRIMZ has been playing with his keyboard on the monitor stand, as you can see there. And yesterday it was wobbling on both sides, which is pretty amusing. As you can see, they've got quite considerable table space as well. Yeah,
but the reasoning is, with these monitors, the BenQ or the ASO ones, the foot of the monitor, since it's so, it's very long. If I were to compare it with a BenQ one, where you can actually move the foot of it, so you get a better angle of the keyboard. You can't really do that with the ASO one. And since you see there, KRIMZ playing with his monitor very close.
He likes it up close.
Yeah, up close and personal.
He wants to fill his eyes with Counter-Strike. Okay, so we're into the pistol in the second half. TSM 5 rounds down, but they're on the stronger side now. This time it was Fnatic who won the knife round, but probably would have ended up the same way from what we've seen so far. Device with 2 sneaky frags, massive advantage for his team. Oh, that's going to be the burst fire straight into his jaw. So many frags coming in fast, but TSM with the man advantage, still controlling the site. dupreeh just admiring his gun and then just pulling it out to get flusha straight in the face. The flank is there as well, and control of the bomb. Olof managing to pick it up. Now, he could maybe get a 1v1 with Xyp9x though. But Xyp9x will have the advantage with that smoke. Olof heading back down. Is karrigan fast enough? Not quite. Olof running all over the place. He is the hunted, but can he avoid the harpoons? Just waiting to find one of the CTs. Oh, that should have been a headshot there. Maybe a bit of panic. Again, doesn't manage to get it fast enough. Now he's getting tapped down. Finds a headshot onto dupreeh. Could he get a plant here? He's going for the wrap into B. And I think maybe there was a sound cue there. Is he going for the fake? This is a bit wacky.
Yeah. Very low on HP though, so he doesn't have too much to work with.
Has he got time to creep around the site and get a sneaky headshot? It's going to be a close one. Oh,
yeah, no, he's never going to have time to clear the bomb site.
Yeah, that's a strong position from karrigan, and karrigan can just charge at him because he will not have time to stop the plant. Execution coming up soon. And there it is. TSM take the pistol.
Very cheeky position there from Device in the smoke in the middle. The first two frags that TSM got, it was very nicely played. Picking up the Glock, thinking you get a little bit of a like a Rambo style after he got the 2. A bit more air in his lungs. Figured.
Credit to olofmeister. He was in a horrible situation and he did fairly well considering. But again, TSM going to start their catch up now. Need to defend from this eco, and again we saw what TSM did on their eco round with very limited funds indeed. It wasn't even a force buy and they still managed to win their second round. Fnatic going for the full force here. 5 smoke grenades, all Kevlar, 2 helmets. Tech 9 party here in London. Slow, far, so good. Easiest pun of the day, I'm sure. Look at these mixed weapons here from TSM as well. MP7, MP9, UMP. UMP with some nice recoil compared to some other guns.
Yeah, we're gonna see a regular B round here, smoking the spawn and smoking towards spools and 2 flushes over, and then use the remaining smokes if they manage to get the round or bomb site. Just keep on re-smoking it.
Look at that perfectly placed Molotov. That wasn't possible in before previous updates, but they've managed to get through all of that without losing a single player. They've taken control of the site as well. Defect's in a good position to at least spray down 1 player, but that's not going to happen. All fairly tagged are the Fnatic players, save for pronax. Bomb has been planted. This is quite impressive indeed. 4-man retake versus a 4-man hold here for the T side. But it's again, it's Fnatic only with pistols. They're going to need the range here, but then the range will allow TSM to spray down as well. Only 2 Fnatic players remaining. More CSM players coming in for support. That's going to be a cleanup, only losing 1 player, but that's an important plant for Fnatic.
Yeah, and good job by TSM there actually. Just deciding to not fight them when they hit the site since they were totally smoked off, and just wait. That's why it took so long to actually retake, because they waited for the smokes to fade, which is very smart. And then just...
they chose to fight the good fight.
Yeah. Which is not a lot of times you see that. People get stressed and they run through the smoke and they get beaten down with a stick, and then they get upset.
No one likes being beaten with a stick. karrigan only going with the Tech 9 he would have picked up from the last round, which leads me to believe for Flarin that he will be opting for the AWP later on. I think he's got 3,900 in the bank. Indeed he does. So, first they have to win this round, however. Fnatic opting for just a few pistols here, not much else. I think we're going to see AWPs from both sides in the next round, but first I need to get through this. karrigan is firing cannons at the unarmored players on the Swedish side. Bomb is down in a horrible position. Only Olof remains. He is going to have a quick look down mid, see if he's getting flanked, and then come back, see what he can do, or maybe just get on with the next round. Oh, he wants to do some damage here. Trying to find every edge he can. But that UMP is going to come in, give dupreeh a nice bonus as we go and expect some of these players to upgrade their weapons.
karrigan bought an SMG. I'm kidding. Someone actually dropped it to him, so he actually didn't buy it.
So Device has gone for the AWP, and karrigan's looks like he's continuing with the MP9. So he may be a weapons cache later on for TSM, as he still has over 6 grand in the bank. If you don't know what a grand is, it is slang for 1,000 in ye old English. That Molotov is going to do a lot of damage. His effect, he'll be finished off pushing by flusha. So it's TSM's turn to play with one player lost very early, but the difference is they'll play from the B site. Device holding down the arch area very solidly indeed, putting things back in favor of TSM, rotating towards B. That is exactly where Fnatic are headed right now. So interesting differences early on again. TSM losing a player, playing passively as opposed to down near the tree, and Device, he is everywhere. Fnatic do not want him to be. He was so close to getting yet another frag there. Close but no cigar. Rotating. The support is still there for his teammate on the site. Only 2 Fnatic players left, and that crossfire is going to be too much for them. Only 1 play loss for TSM. Very important indeed for their economy. Only 1 round behind now.
Yeah, Device doing a great job in middle there with his op, getting those 2 key frags, and then running all the way back to B to get another one. So very nice round. Actually, I want to see stats of weapon usage from karrigan. I'm pretty sure like 50% is Tech 9, 30% is like an SMG, and then 15% is an op, and the remaining 5% is like a rifle.
I know. I'm pretty sure that the AWP is the most popular weapon of the LAN so far. Before, you know, at this morning.
In terms of kills.
In terms of kills. Okay. Right, look at this. Only pistols here for Fnatic. We'll see if they can get a bomb plant again. Trying to apply pressure to the pit area at the moment. But dupreeh is holding things down. Trade finally coming in. But there's still Device on the site to contest with. And his presence will allow his teammates to rotate. Now they're up close. He'll go for the peak. Find the frag. He is racking up the kills in these rounds. 10-10 now. TSM tying things up. And again, they are on the more favoured side. So you have to slightly favour them going forwards, but they are up against the best team in the world after all. 1 AWP for both sides now, Device and JW. We'll see where both opt to go. Device heading towards B for now. And JW is in fact leading the charge.
Nice.
pronax getting taken down, however. Device saw somebody over to the tree, so he won't get too aggressive with this peak. He's forced back by the flames, by the flashbangs.
And Device just needs to keep playing like he is right now. Going aggressive, banana, going mid, just being everywhere. Even if you might have 1 bad round, just don't give up on the idea that you should keep on doing that, because it's working. It's putting Fnatic in a very awkward spot every single round so far on their CT side.
Again, this is the second game of this best of 3. TSM currently leading 1-0, so they could. Can you just imagine if they took down Fnatic 2-0 here, especially after last weekend?
Yeah, they seem to have a pretty good idea on how Fnatic likes to play, and they seem to have a very good counter to it.
Yeah, they seem well studied, indeed. So, looks like we're going to have a push from the Swedish Giant side, from the #1 team currently in the world. But karrigan again is a thorn in the side, and Device to boot, finally getting taken down by JW, but all too late. He's the only person on his team. The bomb is in no man's land. It has been smoked off. If he knows where it is, he could go for a desperation plant in the smoke here, but with all these guns pointed in his direction, it's unlikely. Before he even gets there, going to get shot straight in the head, down to 9 HP. Finished off by karrigan once again. So in the last map, karrigan was a massive thorn in the side. Now Device is coming into play as well.
And also
look
karrigan.
at the kills.
Yeah, I think if they keep on playing the way they are right now, I don't think Fnatic might actually get a single round. But you never really know with both Fnatic and TSM how they will pan out. Just that 1 round can actually just change the whole lockdown. Especially knowing you saw that when TSM played Virtus Pro on that overpass game when they lost that 5-on-3. After that, it's just, you know, TSM didn't really have an answer to DP after that.
pronax and the coach Devil Walk with 2 slightly differing styles. So they have many approaches in the bag, do Fnatic, but can they find the right one to stop TSM here? They've taken the lead now. They have considerable weaponry, lots of counter flashes, 3 mollies in the bag as well, and 2 smokes to waste as much time as possible. So it's going to be hard for Fnatic wherever they choose to go. Creeping through Apps at the moment are Fnatic, but there's 2 people to contend with in the pit. We've got trades coming in so far. Once again, Device with that pesky up karrigan as well. 2 trades here for Fnatic, 2 versus 2 now. They're in the pit. And another flush grenade. They need to figure out where exactly these CTs are. Is it safe for them to cross? They're running out of time, slowly but surely, to try and get the plant here. Preemptive molly to try and make it harder for that plant to come in. karrigan, again, they just cannot get rid of this man. Perfect timing to make this 2v1. Now, pronax has to wonder, if he tries to plant, are they going to be close enough to stop him? Does he go for the fake? Does he go for the full plant?
Well, he doesn't have that much time, yeah. He's going to be in a very, very bad situation here, because he can't really... Yeah, he has to hold it. If he had maybe 10 or 20 more seconds to work with on that round, he could actually afford to fake plan, try and, you know, kill off one TSM member. But since it was only 15 seconds left, by the time he actually let go of that bomb they're trying to kill, I guess it was, I'm not sure, dupreeh probably, there wouldn't just be any time left to actually manage to plant the bomb. And then you had karrigan on top of that, so even though he was low.
Fnatic running out of time, and they're running out of rounds as well, and running out of Swedish bodies. pronax falling to Device on this eco here from Fnatic. KRIMZ and flusha buying armor. They have 2 flashes, and they need to plant this bomb. What are they going to do?
Plant the bomb.
Well, that's what they're going to try.
Yep.
But how are they going to try and get there? That is the question.
How will they do it?
Which bomb site will they approach? KRIMZ just making some pre-fire, trying to make a nuisance of himself. Zipek's trying to hold down, but he's got 3 to contest with. How many can he get? Jumping Olof will stop him with an assist from KRIMZ. So the trade's coming in actually. Olof now finds himself versus 2, but again, the bomb is in no man's land. karrigan, how fast can he rotate? There is a smoke there, and Olof's got an angle to try and take him out, and an AWP. There's the frag, 1 versus 1 now. But again, it's dupreeh who's got control of the bomb, and his position is as yet unknown by the Swedish player. 35 seconds on the clock. So this time he's got the time to try and find the frag. And he's got one display to do it with. Picked up the bomb and he's heading towards B. Insta rotation coming in from dupreeh. And that flash may have sold dupreeh the fake, pretty much. You can see him holding the angle on quad there. He is going to have a very long rotation indeed, and Olof could be anywhere. But Olof doesn't have a read as to where dupreeh might be. For all he knows, he could be close banana. He could be CT spawn. He's about to find out. Flash coming in over the wall. Olof still looking towards CT though, it seems. So maybe he doesn't have the read just yet. Going to tag him through the wall. He only needs to tap dupreeh once. Olof with no armor. If he gets shot in the head... Oh, he's going to go for a full defuse!
Wow.
Just in the nick of time, Olof finds a frag. Does he have time to save the AWP? I think he should be okay.
Yeah, he's fine. And 4 kills from olofmeister that round. And these are the rounds that... Just knowing TSM, that these are the rounds that makes them get a little bit nervous.
Yeah.
So let's hope that
strong individual play.
Yeah.
Coming out from Fnatic.
Yeah, winning this round is key for TSM, because then it wouldn't be too much of an issue. But if they lose this one as well, they're going to be low on money, and then that's when you go into that situation where they might get flustered.
Look at these mollies from Fnatic. They are demanding control of banana, and they are taking it. But looks like Zipex wants to mount an offense. Got the pot flash coming in from his teammate. So we see those pot flashes coming from every team. So strong they are. But Fnatic still passive on banana. Now they're coming in deep. Being led by Olof, maybe looking to find an AWP shot on site. That smoke there will slow things down. So they will rotate a little bit away. Again, they don't want to be caught by surprise with these pop flashes from TSM. That double boost allows them to look into the back of the site, where you can sometimes see CTs hiding, get a sneaky kill. But there'll be nobody there just yet. 40 seconds on the clock now. Bomb still on banana, and Fnatic still with 3 players towards A. So which way will this rotation come? We've got TSM asking questions on the B area. Some shots coming through the smoke, but it's still smoked off. And Fnatic will think wiser than to push. They've lost a player on quad to dupreeh. Again, TSM in control of pit despite that smoke. Crossfire from Graveyard and Sight as well. Graveyard down, but there's still Sight. KRIMZ can't find the angle in time. 2 versus 4 now. Fnatic desperate to win rounds here. TSM looking to extend their lead. Only Olof remains. 8 HP versus 3. Only the AWP and the Tech-9. Bombs on the floor. And there is no time for him to get the plant here. He's not going to find 2 frags. Gets taken out by Zipex. And TSM move within 3 rounds of taking this 2-0.
Yeah, and that's exactly what TSM needed. I think if they would have lost that round, first of all, they would have been low on money. Second of all, I think that it's gone to the point where it's going to be start to get a little bit nervous over on the TSM side. But winning that round, I mean, now they have the momentum, they have the weapons, they have the power.
And so does Olof. He's got the power. He-manning device out of the map.
I've never heard that before.
But look at that. That's the only primary... Oh, no. It was the only primary gun, but JW now has an AWP of his own. 2 players here on the B bomb side for TSM. It's gone for a 2-2 setup. And this is Fnatic's time to shine. JW with no help on the B bomb site. Going to get taken down by karrigan. And it looks like that's going to cause them, TSM, to rotate a 3rd man over towards A, but can he get there in time? We've got a 4-man Fnatic charge here. cajunb in a position where maybe his teammate could throw a pop flash for him and he can pop out. I think that's exactly what's going to happen. There's a pop flash. Everybody's blind. KRIMZ trying to mount the defense. He gets help from olofmeister. He will find a frag. 3 versus 3. Rotation coming in from B. Can Zipex get there in time to save his teammates? Again, only pistols save for the odd weapon picked up here for Fnatic. They've done some damage, but again it's TSM who win the round. Pick up the AWP to boots, which will save them a little bit of money. 14-11.
Yeah, and Device and karrigan continue to show signs of strength. And it's looking really good for him right now. Again, this is probably Fnatic opted to buy, obviously, since they were saving the last round. But this is a do-or-die situation for him.
Yeah, TSM, such confidence. I say to Fnatic, you are arguably the best team in the world, and this is arguably your best map, and we are going to take it from you, or at least try. All the frags coming in, they're looking good for the money right now. 1-man advantage for TSM after those trades. May see a bomb plant if cajunb doesn't get the right angle there. Sees the enemy, but cannot get a frag in time. flusha taking down the effects. More trades coming in. flusha versus 2. No bomb plant. No round win. And little hope here for the Swedish side. Look at the money they are left with.
Yeah, and 4 match points in favor of TSM. Would you have guessed this coming into this game?
I knew TSM would be strong, but how can you ever bet against Fnatic going down 2-0? They're not down yet, though.
Even after knowing that TSM beat them last week?
Still Fnatic. They're still the best team in the world. Or are they? TSM looking to prove otherwise. First frag coming into olofmeister. Going to back up, find a new angle. They see the Tech-9s coming. We'll put a bit more distance between them and those dangerous pistols. Still 3 TSM players over towards the A site. Now that is confidence with an AWP and a rifle here to try and save the B bomb site. Got trades coming in. Plant should be there for the Fnatic side. Device not going to push through. Another smoke. That's a chunky nade. But look at the weaponry Fnatic have here. Only an M4 and 2 Tech-9s forced out from the great Molotov play there by dupreeh. Numbers sitting for both sides now. It's flusha to try and save his teammates. The lurker for Fnatic versus 2. Pulling out the deagle, running out of bullets. There's a frag onto cajunb. He's got 4 HP. He needs to find dupreeh, but he will not get there in time. But does he have time to defuse a bomb?
Yeah.
He does, and that is GG. 2-0 to TSM, taking down Fnatic. Sending them crashing out of the tournament. TSM make it to the final. 2-0.
Yeah, and feels like it's actually quite fun nowadays to watch Counter because you have so many teams and they're all good versus specific opponents. So Fnatic, they tend to have a hard time versus Titan. Now you're actually seeing here now as well for Fnatic, they have a very hard time versus TSM. Lost 2 tournaments in a row, and obviously they're out of the tournament. Then you have NIP have a very hard time against a team like Fnatic. So at this point of time, everyone can beat anyone.
Indeed, as Thorin did mention after the previous week. So a solid 2-0 there for the Danish team. And that's got to be a bit of a shock for Fnatic. we had that interview with JW. I think it was on the first day where I asked him, "Can anybody here beat Fnatic?" And he just gave a resounding no. And they didn't get a game. They didn't get a single game versus TSM. While they, had a good innings, it was TSM to keep a clean sheet as far as games are concerned. You can see immunity there. The Australian team just giving their congratulations as well. Good showing by them. And again, TSM, first team in the final.
Yeah, and obviously the next semifinal we have is NIP versus Virtus Pro. And the last time we saw TSM versus Virtus Pro was yesterday. And how did that pan out? VP won.
So,
do you think that we're going to see another Virtus Pro win here over NIP?
That is to be discussed.
Really? You want to discuss this?
Well, we'll have to engage the rest of our analysis team with that. But first, we need to look at the what happened in this match and what it means for TSM going forward as well as Fnatic.
Were you waiting on something?
On James to start talking. I think.
Oh.
Testing. Hello. There we go. Hi, guys. That we weren't expecting that really from TSM when we went into this match. We weren't expecting them to essentially walk over Fnatic, especially not on Inferno.
Well, that's the thing. They not only have beaten Fnatic, but on Fnatic maps as well. It's not like they had one weird map that was like a 50-50 and you don't know how Fnatic could do it. These are Fnatic's maps. Fnatic's supposed to win Inferno. And previously, they didn't even have to usually play Mirage because no one wanted to play Mirage against Fnatic. But that's the thing. The TSM T-side on some of these maps has been so transformed that now they're willing to play these maps. I mean, these are even halves that Fnatic's getting on their CT that should be good enough, The half on Mirage was fine. What was it, 10 rounds this time, I think, on CT? That's absolutely fine on this sort of a map. But TSM, they're a new team, it seems. Now, I have to say, even though they've beaten Fnatic here, you want to say, like, is this like going to be the TSM era? Is TSM going to win every event? I'm not quite sure about that. In fact, actually, if anything, I'd say at the moment, I think they're just the team that has the best chance of beating Fnatic. Before, we didn't have one that was like a favourite over Fnatic in series. Maybe TSM's it, because with these maps, if they can keep doing this, they might be able to win. So they've managed to somehow go from being a couple of rounds away from being out of the whole tournament against Na'Vi, but they're also a couple of rounds from going into the semi-final over VP. Like, the swings of this team is crazy, considering that they are a top-level team.
Yeah, James, before this match, you said if TSM can beat Fnatic here, and as they have done convincingly, that maybe this is the end of us even having to say the word throw. I don't even want to say it now, kind of. Do you feel like we're there?
I think so. I think they've shown consistent, solid performances, and while they won the LAN last week, there were 4 teams at that LAN. This LAN there are 8 teams here, so it's arguably more trying times in that respect, because people have said that sometimes, like in the late game, they can suffer problems. Well, we'll see. They've got one more match to play, and we'll find out if that's going to happen. But just absolutely solid performances, and again, their split decision making has been really, really good. I can't stress how important that frag was from Zipex. How he came out of the apps late to suggest that nobody's there allows Fnatic to make a mistake and then punish them for that mistake.
I'm not buying that though, James, that they're over the choking, there's none more of that. We've even seen it in this tournament. We saw it against VP, they could have gone into the semis, they threw it away. And then against Na'Vi, they just got control at the end, otherwise they would have been out of the whole tournament. I think that problem that they have there is just who they are, okay? It's going to be there. To some degree, it'll always be present. But if you notice the situation it happens in, it's when it's in a third map, and when it's tight late in the third map. We didn't have to see this here. They just ran over Fnatic. They were front run really well once they get into those lead positions. So, listen, if they can get really good leads on second maps, now they can win and never have to be in that situation. It's like there's a famous saying, okay, that a superior pilot isn't someone who uses his superior skill to get out of every situation. He just doesn't allow. He uses his superior skill to make sure he's not in a situation he has to then get out of a difficult situation. So if they can front run like this and they can just win 2-0, they can have really strong performances on the first 2 maps. They'll never have to get into those tight situations where their backs are against the wall. They're at the elimination game. So I think it's going to be present there. I'm not expecting never worry about that again. Like if they have to play against someone like VP in the final, I could see that coming up again and being another factor, So I think it's a bit of both. They've improved definitely, but I think the choke aspect, it'll always be lurking in the background, even if it doesn't always impose itself and ruin the game.
On Mirage, we saw karrigan really pick up for TSM, but on Inferno, we also saw Device up at the top of the board with him. Is this great to see, right, from Device?
Yeah, and this is how we should play on Inferno, but we don't see that kind of play from Device too often on this map. Like, he was aggressive, he was taking the peaks on Banana in mid, playing passive, hitting all of these shots. You don't see that every game he plays. Like, he was on point, especially on Inferno, and you also saw karrigan also stepping out on Inferno once again. So he had a really good series here versus Fnatic.
Yeah, it's like magic, isn't it? Where a player is so confident to be pushing, as you say, but also pulling off those shots. And once you do it like 2 or 3 rounds in a row, that confidence just builds and builds and builds. It's like a steamroll. So do you think, going forward, do you think TSM could be unstoppable against NiP or VP?
I think it would do them a big favour, actually, if NiP won this series now. I think against NiP, it's maybe the right set of circumstances. They won their last series over NiP at the CCS in the upper final there. So I think they've got a good matchup there. VP would be interesting just because in this tournament alone, they'd have that sort of flashback to what happened to us last time. And they know VP gives them such a hard game on most of the maps. So I think at the moment, yeah, I'd actually say TSM at the moment. I'd make them a prohibitive favourite to win the tournament. But I think their chances go up if it's NiP there as opposed to VP. I think VP's got kind of like they've got kind of the grit that can put TSM in those difficult situations where maybe the choker can be a factor.
As TSM are our first team in the final, if they do win, how far up the rankings, the Thorin rankings, do you think they would go?
I mean, that would also depend who gets to the final as well.
Okay.
NiP's like number 3 at the moment, and it's the team above them. So if NiP gets to the final, that'd be like a fine decision. I think if they win this event, I probably would put them above NiP, actually, because NiP haven't actually won a big event this year. They won the small Aces ROG tournament, but TSM now would have had a bunch of top 4s. They'd have had a win Perforna in a stack tournament, a win in a strong tournament here as well. I think this would be enough if they win to make the number 3 team in the world. And also, you have to realize we've got lands coming up in the next few weeks, so the chance is definitely there for TSM to keep climbing these rankings. They can climb pretty fast because if they're winning events, you know.
And we've had to say goodbye to Fnatic. What does this mean for them within that team right now? What kind of conversations are they going to be having? Because they're going to want to keep that number 1 spot, right, James?
Absolutely. And I think, one conversation is TSM are pretty good. And the other conversation is TSM came prepared and had a solid game plan. But the thing is, like, Fnatic on their CT side, they did reasonably well when they, as FiffleAaron pointed out, they lost a player early and KRIMZ just held down Banana and B on his own round after round after round. So I think it's...
we also saw the same on Mirage as well. Like, they had very strong CT sides on there as well.
Absolutely, yeah. So I think you have to give credit to TSM for having great T sides, but then there's also the ever-changing meta. You know, has something to Fnatic style been noticed here by TSM that Fnatic maybe need to change, so they're less predictable, and you know, to make it harder for TSM to execute against them. Basically, if they're banking on them being in certain positions. So I suppose those are, well, I guess that's one of the main questions for Fnatic.
Okay, cool.
And though, I don't even think that's like a glib statement to say like, oh, TSM's really good. That's the only thing at the moment that's stopping Fnatic winning these tournaments. They're beating these other teams. The only team they've lost to in a best of 3 recently is TSM. So actually, that in itself means that it's not like panic stations for Fnatic. Like, we have to rehaul everything, change all our maps, maybe change a player. Because if you think about it, they're consistently making top 4s all the time, if not top 2s, but they got stopped by TSM now. So we know TSM can lose to other people. So if you're Fnatic, you just sit there, you hope that things work out. And hey, next tournament, maybe TSM wins that and you meet them in the final. Maybe VP knocks TSM out for you. You never know. You can beat VP. So I don't think it's entirely like the end of Fnatic here. Like, oh, rest in peace. Like, let's hope they change. It's kind of, there's still time for things to work out in their favour.
And any last thoughts from you, Robin, on Fnatic's time this weekend in FACEIT LAN finals?
I mean, coming into the TSM game, they were looking very good, like very good. I had them favorites to win the tournament, but again, TSM, they seem to have an answer to Fnatic's playstyle. And I was just talking about it before you guys came in, where it feels like every team have a team that's like kryptonite to them.
The counter, yeah.
Yeah, so Fnatic, they have Titan. They also have TSM now.
Yep.
NIP, obviously Fnatic. TSM, they seem to actually have a small idea now on how to play versus them. And then you have also VP playing extremely well recently, and by the looks of it, they're good versus TSM. They might not be good versus, say, Fnatic.
Yeah.
So it's always like it's always going to come down to, okay, which matchup will we see in the semifinals? And that's pretty much just going to be like, okay, well, these teams will play in the final. Because if you do get this matchup again in the semi, chances are TSM might win. And then on the opposite side as well, let's say NIP, they're good against VP. They will see these matchups more and more.
So, as you mentioned there, NIP versus VP is the next semi-final coming up very soon. Let's have some brief thoughts, as I'm sure the desk will change around a bit as we get further towards that game. So, Robin, in particular, how do you see this game going? NIP versus VP. How are NIP going to?
Well, considering actually VPS have been actually playing really well as of late, and then you have NIP they've been struggling. You saw them struggle against Immunity on Dust 2, and then you saw them struggle a lot versus Fnatic. So if VP comes in with the kind of gameplay they had yesterday versus TSM, and NIP comes in with the gameplay they had yesterday versus Fnatic, then I think that VP will win.
Cool. Before we go any further, I believe we do have an interview with Device.
Okay, guys, I'm here with Device after his victory over Fnatic. So, yesterday you had, I guess, a close call against Na'Vi. You managed to pull things back together again. That monkey was climbing up your back of the whole choking thing. How does it feel to actually get that match done? And generally, are you guys over this now?
I mean, like, the Na'Vi Mirage game, we should never have won that game. But we had a similar game online, a Fragmite Masters, where they ended up so Mirage map now. But yeah, really nice to win that semifinal and now winning the semifinal.
Some really good results against Fnatic. Is that due to a lot of studying, or did you bring that into the game? Were you very confident going into it, or how are your general?
Our map picks are like really strong against them. We play almost the same maps, and we didn't spend that much time studying this time than we did at CCS. But I feel like every time we get on the maps we really want, and we get the maps, we just clinch out the wins. It doesn't seem like you have to think that hard into anti-stratting. I know that they didn't anti-strat as much either. You can see they play a little bit more free and YOLOing. So yeah, I just think we have a really good matchup against them. It's not like, I don't know what to say.
I saw that you were like really coming into your game. You looked like you're hitting a lot of really awesome shots. Is the setup feeling really good for you at the moment? So are you guys looking really confident going into your next match? And which team would you prefer to play against out of NIP and Virtus Pro?
So I didn't actually really start that well. I had 0-10, and I was thinking, I'm joking again. Who knows? And like I failed so many rounds. I said sorry to my teammates so many times, and I ended up like shooting 10 guys in 3 rounds in the end, and we clinched that like some really important rounds. So I got going and just kept on doing it. Regarding the next match, NIP has always been a really tough opponent for us, and Virtus Pro is leading and beating us in best of 3s as well, so it's really hard to say. I think probably NIP because we beat them 2-0 last time. Yeah.
All right, well, thank you very much. Congratulations for winning your match, and good luck in the following one. Thanks, guys. That's Device.
Interesting. It's almost a shame that it has to go through Device's head that, like, oh, am I choking now? But it obviously paid off in the end, right? I didn't even realise he went 0 for 10. It was actually that much of a convincing win from the other players on his team, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes the teammates need to pick up the slack, but when you can string together a number of kills in a few rounds to get back to a more reasonable score, should be a good boost for your confidence, and hopefully you can kind of get those goals a little bit further away from your mind. Yeah,
and we definitely saw that happen in the second map, right? Because he picked it up, and we talked already about the confidence of Device going forward into the grand final later. So let's
maybe also maybe the team picked him up. Like maybe he was going 0-10, and cajunb was like, hey, I know that feel, bro. Like you can turn around, it doesn't matter. And he's like, oh, okay, it's not as bad as you, Cajun. He's like, yeah, let's win the game, guys. And they did like a high five, like out of like Top Gun or something.
And just freeze frame.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then fade out with like synth music.
Right, let's have a chat about VP versus Ninjas in Pyjamas coming up very soon. Brief thoughts. We were chatting earlier about it. James, what are your thoughts going forward about this match?
This is going to be good.
Yeah.
Those are my thoughts.
Pain.
In what way?
In what way? Well, they're two really good teams.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy the style matchup. We've got two good AWPers on both sides as well. Both teams have been solid as of late. And we're down to the final 3 now. At the beginning of the day, down to the final 4. So 4 strong teams all together. As Thorin's mentioned recently, there are a number of different teams now who can potentially be champions. So we're about to find out which of these two teams it may be.
Yeah, it's definitely a stacked semi-finals, right? Especially as we see TSM coming up the ranks.
I mean, in my rankings, I have the teams that are in the semi-finals here. 4 of them are in the top 5. The only one we're missing is Envious, and they were number 2. So we have the number 1, 3, 4, and 5 all in the semis. So it's actually an ideal semi-final if you're a fan of the highest level of Counter-Strike.
Yeah, you looking forward to this next semi-final?
Definitely. This is one of the best rivalries in the history of the game. You know, it's always going backwards and forwards. It's never one team dominated it. It's not like when Fnatic was playing Envious or playing very games in the early days. It's not that one-sided thing where you just like, oh, can the underdogs ever win? In this one, it's really about the form that the two teams come into the game with. Because interestingly, this, despite how often we saw it in 2014, we haven't really seen this rivalry very much offline in 2015. We only saw it in one series, which was in the upper bracket of Star Ladder, and that was just an absolute whitewash for NIP actually. And so that wasn't much of a match at all, which is rare because usually this is a great rivalry, you know. So I'm excited to see them both play when they're in a bit better form, hopefully.
Should be great. Right, guys, thank you for sticking with us all morning, and we'll be back very soon for the second semi-final, Virtus Pro versus Ninjas in Pyjamas. We'll be back soon.